you highly. However, you made a comment on the farmer extension officer ratio. I know that it's been a challenge for a while, even before the MPP took over. I know when it comes to these things, you are more patriotic, and I want to see that sense of patriotism in you this evening. Now, it was difficult. We came in under Dr. Akoto, the same problem. Also a 3 years time. It improved a bit. It improved significantly. Okay? Then, compared to yours was so bad. So if it's a question of farmers to extension ratio, you don't really have the moral right to come and be describing how bad the situation was. How bad the situation was. So we did well. Dr. Akoto did very well. Would you agree with me on that?
Mr. Chairman, I recall vividly that this issue has been debated upon on the floor. We were told by the Honorable Akoto on the floor of the House that the government was recruiting 1,200 extension officers. But the following year, when they brought the budget and I checked the staff ceilings, I realized that they had recruited only 217. And when we asked them, they said the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development was responsible for the recruitment of the rest. I followed up to check on their staff ceilings, and they were completely missing. And so, leader, sometimes, apart from what we hear on the floor, we have to go beyond that to ascertain whether the paper information is in consonance with the reality.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe we'll have another day for this debate. Yes, we'll have another day for this debate. Not today, he's not ready. He's not ready. Where he's seated? Oh, leader. Oh, sorry. So, Honorable Novini and a friend, you have been eloquent on Agri Business, and I hear you use that expression a lot. Are you able to elucidate and also contextualize it in the current situation we find ourselves as a country? What do you mean by agribusiness? In what context?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, agriculture is simply the growing of plants and the raising of animals. But agribusiness focuses on profiting from agriculture using technology. And so, in the current situation, agribusiness is anchored on production, processing, transportation, and distribution. And so, we have a situation where there is no link between agriculture and industry. We in the NDC believe that the only way to make agriculture attractive to the youth, the only way to make agriculture profitable, lucrative venture for people to invest in is to marry the two, so that when you produce, value is added to it, you increase your export, you reduce your import, you restore stability to the exchange rate, and then create conducive atmosphere, conducive and congenial business environment for businesses to thrive, throwing out millions of jobs to absorb the teeming youth of our nation.
So,
any further question?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Mr. Chair, the nominee knows that changing the mindset of our teeming farmers to switch from the normal subsistence and cutlers and who has been a challenge for a very long time. It is easy to say that, well, it's a challenge and therefore we are going to encourage our youth to go into it. what will be the narrative? What are you going to do? You have 4 years. What are you going to do to change this thinking? It is not easy as you're saying it. I have done some consultancy for MEDA, and you go to typical areas where our farmers are. And it's about subsistence farming. It's about what they want to eat. They farm what they are going to eat. So farm, excuse me to say, to the mouth. Exports only is considered when we are looking at free zone companies, and foreigners come and flood this space and take over. I just wish that 4 years from now, we can have evidence to say that indeed we have changed the mindset and the thinking of our farmers and our youth. I don't know how you're going to do this. It's not going to be an easy task. Many a time we find this thing, we state them in our manifestos. This is not the first time your manifesto is talking about Agri Business. It's not the first time. So look into the microphone and tell the teeming Ghanaian youth what you are going to do. I have confidence in you, but it's not going to be easy. What are you going to do to translate these matters practically? How differently are you going to approach this?
Mr. Chairman, first and foremost, we are going to launch a program akin to a champion's Operation Feed Yourself. Under that program, every Ghanaian, every household would be encouraged to own a home garden. At least we should take advantage of the rich soil to produce the basic vegetables that we need in our homes. We are also going to encourage institutional farming. Under this, every secondary school in this country will be made to own a farm. We are going to liaise with my brother, Honorable Haruna, if given the nod, the Minister for Education, to recruit laborers for the secondary schools to help them prepare school farms. Mr. Chairman, if we're able to do this, if for nothing at all, we can reduce the cost of school feeding. We can also improve both the qualitative and the quantitative aspect of the food that is served to our students. Then again, we are also going to encourage the churches and the Muslim entities. Already, some of them are into farming. We can talk about the Savior Church. They are into serious farming. We can talk about the Pentecost Church, the Christo Asafo Church, and many others. I cannot mention all of them. And Seventh-day Adventists and all of them. We want to encourage all of them to also invest in farming. Mr. Chairman, nature has blessed us with land that is capable of giving us the food that we can eat and even export. And so we have to take advantage of that. Now, regarding the peasant farmers issue,
thank you very much, Honorable Nominee. I'm not taking that. I just want to thank the nominee. So go ahead with your question.
Okay. So
Order.
yes, Honorable Eric, do I have your attention?
Mr. Chairman, you have my attention, except that I suspect some kind of a breach of, contract here. Because just before when I entered, you told me that, oh, my brother asked for you, I won't ask you any question, because you are capable. But you are bombarding me with a lot of questions.
Mr. Chair, my friend knows that we both know each other. And I'm doing this because of the people of this country. Just between the two of us, I could have decided not to ask you. But People, our Ghanaians are listening to you, and they need to hear some good words from you. Eric, let me test your knowledge on this. Smart agriculture, sustainability, climate change. You know, these are current words that are used in the current narrative in terms of sustainability, green agriculture, and all that. How are you able to situate this in our situation? And this may be my last question. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, all the issues or the terminologies you have raised or broached here point to one particular term: how to sustain the environment, to make agriculture sustainable as well, how to implement policies that are environmentally friendly. But to properly respond to the question, I just, as part of my preparation towards this vetting, I read from an Indian agronomist and humanitarian, M.S. Swaminathan, who has been described by the United Nations as the father of economic ecology. And he said this: when agriculture goes wrong, nothing else will have the chance to go right. When your agricultural policies go wrong, food inflation will be rising. Food import bill will be rising. Unemployment rate will be rising because you are importing more and you are generating exchange rate vulnerabilities that will have the tendency to convulse the entire business environment, leading to business collapse and unemployment rising. And so the policies we have crafted in our manifesto are technically achievable, economically sustainable, and socially acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, let me thank the nominee. I want to thank you for responding to my questions, and also to tell you that we are going to follow you with an eagle eye. All the beautiful things you've said, get prepared. Get prepared that we are not going to take them lightly at all.
They are saying you should rather follow with a tiger eye. Honorable Deputy Minority Leader, do you have a comment?
Thank you very much. Honorable nominee, congratulations. Yes, I know that you have a number of beautiful programs that you want to roll out there. But I have a responsibility because we were in the chamber when we passed our affirmative action bill into law. And you know very well that in pursuing these programs, we have to take into consideration the women and some marginalized groups. And these people always face barriers to land ownership and access to credit. How will you tackle these systemic issues to create a more inclusive agricultural sector as you are proposing out there? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, according to a report issued by the World Bank in 2021, in Ghana, 44.1% of women are employed in agriculture. My view is that it is a good thing. The only problem is that they are confronted with challenges like their male counterparts. But I think the issue relating to credit has already been addressed. I did mention that we will establish Ghana Agricultural Insurance Scheme, under which will subsidize agricultural insurance to direct agricultural lending and allow the banks to offer credit to our farmers. And so the women in agriculture will take advantage of this opportunity to access credit to expand their farming activities. And then you also raise the issue of land acquisition. I think that has also been dealt with when we talk about the land banks and the fact that we want to prepare the lands, allocate to the farmers, deploy the extension officers, and make sure they deliver.
Thank you very much. Honorable, yeah, you want to? Yeah.
Chairman, just a quick follow-up. On agro insurance, I know countries like India, I think India, Kenya, Zambia, and a few others in Africa are doing it. I don't know if you have reverted your minds to the need for actuarial scientists to do some good work on this, because it's a good thing though, but if you want to bring it to in our country, you have to check on all these variables. Even the Insurance Act may have to come under an amendment. Maybe you have to think about it well, because if you are going to say, I am going to take you on, because I'll be asked filing questions very soon. So get your actuarial scientists to be doing the calculations and be sure it's something you want to do. Yes. I don't know if you have done that.
Mr. Chairman,
yes, a follow-up.
Mr. Chairman, it is a policy captured in our manifesto. And so all that we have to do to make it implementable has been done.
Thank you.
I'll just add, Honorable Nominee, I realize that you've been concentrating so much on crops, and you have not spoken much on poultry and other aspects of it. And then I also want to know something about how you are dealing with the disabilities. I've mentioned vulnerable group, but disabilities must be a key area that you also have to do. Thank you.
Please, your response, the poultry.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, you've noted it.
Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Please.
Mr. Chairman,
poultry and
on the poultry sector, I think it is important I speak to it, because the poultry farmers out there want to hear something from me. Reading the 2024 budget.
For you be nominated. Why are you acting this way? You are supposed to be nominated. Your good conduct. Why? You have not. Your nomination has delayed. You are not going to pray. If I were you, I won't be coming here. Then you are taking a fight with the minority leader. How would I pray for you? Can you leave here, go and pray? Your thing has delayed. All your colleagues have their names out. Yours has delayed. And you are still coming here sharing power.
I love to be here. And I belong here.
Your response to the question.
Yeah, but
please, the response first.
Respectfully, Chairman, my first question was on the poultry industry and what we are going to do to revamp it, because it's so important. And so because of that, I wanted to just make sure you comprehensively, yeah, that's why.
Are you a coach?
Mr. Chairman, reading the 2024 budget, specifically paragraph 402, we are told that in 2022, Ghana's total consumption of poultry was estimated at 324,000 metric tons. Out of this, only 15,000 tons, constituting 4.6%, was produced in Ghana. And so the bulk of the poultry product that is consumed in Ghana is imported. This clearly indicates that the poultry sector is in comatose and needs resuscitation. For this reason,
Honorable nominee, you are before the committee. You are neither debating on the floor nor on the campaign platform. You know, I've told you, and I spoke through Honorable Ahi.
Mr. Chairman, to revamp the poultry sector, we have provided for a program in our manifesto called Poultry Farm to the Table Program. Under this program, we want to work with the Poultry Farmers Association, provide them with financial resources to enable them expand their businesses, increase production to cross the huge gap between demand and supply. Then another aspect that we have to work on is the poultry feed. We are going to focus, zero in on production of poultry feed to make it more affordable to bring down food prices in Ghana. Mr. Chairman, reading the Ghana Statistical Service report, they indicate that food inflation, which came to 23%, has increased to 27.8% on the back of rising prices of eggs, which clearly means that we have to push a lot of resources into that sector to revamp it. And it is against this background that President Mahama, on his campaign trail, announced one of the important programs which became famous in this country.
This appears to be a presidential manifesto thing. It's as if you are adoring yourself, preparing to take over from JM. This is not supposed to be the approach. I've already spoken to you. We've not taken a break.
Mr. Chairman, I agree perfectly with you, but I think that we will do a great disservice to the people of Ghana.
Very well.
If I don't seize this opportunity to explain the Nkukon Kitenkete program. So I wanted to use this opportunity to explain the Nkukon Kitenkete program as part of the measures we will roll out to revamp the poultry sector. Mr. Chairman, let me indicate here that the Nkukon Kitenkete program is not a new program we are introducing in this country. It is an ongoing program. We will just improve upon it. When you read the 2020 budget presented to this House, specifically paragraph 273, the MPP indicated that they were going to distribute Nkukon Kitenkete, Nkonfam Kitenkete, Mponchen Kitenkete, Enyain Kitenkete. But what we are saying is that we are not only going to distribute that, we are going to add cages and also deploy more veterinary services to make the program more effective to enable us actualize our agenda.
Honorable members, it is now the turn of Honorable Ama Boa.
Chairman, thank you. Honorable Eric Opoku, congratulations.
I have a point of correction.
Let me recall that easily you were the best regional minister in the Bronga Hafu. You were sent to the Ashanti region, and Majesty Otufo didn't want you to leave. So you really acquitted yourself very well. Okay, I won't say what I was going to say, but I'm very, very happy that you have moved and nominated to the cabinet of President John Mahama. You deserve it because as ranking member on agriculture, you've basically led us to victory. And there's no doubt in my mind that you are going to excel as the Minister for Agri. Now, it's been said that, and this is what our friends in the MPP has really drummed, that the average agri growth rate in the last 8 years is 5.7%, far higher than the 2.9% growth rate that the NDC bequeathed to the MPP government in 2017. What is your take on that?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for this all-important question. It is an argument that has been made on the floor and on several platforms. And I think that it is appropriate for me to seize the opportunity of this occasion to dissect the issues for proper comprehension by all Ghanaians. In the first place, it is inappropriate for anybody to attempt to compare an average growth rate for a period of 8 years with an average growth rate for 1 year. Let's assume that the two represent average growth rate for 2 individual years, and then do the comparison. Mr. Chairman, what is the importance of agricultural growth rate, of increasing agricultural growth rate, if within the same period, I hope the Honorable Former Minister is listening.
He's going to town.
What will be the relevance of an increasing agricultural growth rate if within the same period that you have recorded the growth, your food inflation is skyrocketing, putting a lot of Ghanaians into poverty? Already the World Bank has established a positive relationship between food prices and the number of people in the poverty zone. When your food prices are going up, the number of people into poverty increases. Again, what is the relevance of the growth rate if at the time of the increase, your food import bill is above $2 billion United States dollars? Let it be recorded here today that in 2016, when the agricultural growth rate was 2.9%, food inflation was around 8%. In fact, it is on record that Ghana recorded its lowest food inflation in July 2014 under John Dramani Mahama. And the highest food inflation has been recorded in January 2023, and is now hovering around 27%. And so in fact, my understanding of economic data is that it is the mathematical representation of the economic activities of the people. And so at any point in time, economic data and the economic life of the people must say the same thing. If economic data is found to be in conflict with the real life of the people, then economic data is massage. This is not contestable.
Thank you. And so that really takes me to my next point about food inflation. Oh, please. You want to close. So, can you share with us your strategies to address rising food inflation despite planting for food and jobs? And while you are at it, you can talk about its impact and the billions we have spent without any impact, and what you are going to do about food inflation, because that's what they left us.
Are you saying without any impact, Kofi?
Kofi.
Honorable Patrick Boma, you don't have the floor.
Thank you, Chair.
You are out of order.
To address food inflation in Ghana, you need a multifaceted approach. First, you have to work towards increasing production, food production. And that's the reason why we are introducing the Feed Ghana program. Second, you have to work towards the reduction of cost of production, reducing the cost of agricultural production. And that is why President Mahama wants to establish the farmer service centers. These farmer service centers, when established, we are going to deploy agricultural machinery, tractors, tillers, combine harvesters to these centers. And Mr. Chairman, this time round, we are not going to import only the big tractors. We have taken consideration of the fact that 90%, almost 90% of our farmer population are into peasant farming, and they do not have the capacity, regardless of the subsidy placed on the agricultural machinery, to procure. And so we are going to bring in more of mini tractors, mini tillers, mini combine harvesters, and deploy them to the centers. Fertilizer, subsidized fertilizer will be reintroduced, and this time around we'll distribute them through the farmer service centers. Agricultural improvements.
Thank you very much. I see that you have a clear plan as Agriculture Minister, when nominated, when approved, to lead us into prosperity. So I congratulate you, and may God guide you.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of the minority leader and the ranking member of the committee.
Hello.
Campaign manager, extensive ECOWAS campaign manager. A man that made you speaker in West Africa. A man that made you speaker in West Africa, your campaign manager, is talking.
My respected senior colleague, let me first congratulate you on your nomination. I have always been watching your debates, and you know that for a fact, how you focus on research, even where you are doing political mischief, you interlace it with some